Hey everyone, I'm Jesse. Welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about a conversation I had in the comments with a younger fellow. I don't know how old he was, and I'm not going to put his name on here and bring attention to him because I didn't discuss that with him. But he was concerned about Gen X's attitude, how we don't care. And to quote him verbatim, he put in all caps in the comment, we are literally on the brink of World War III. That's what he said to me. And for all of y'all younger people, I understand that you're afraid of this, and you're afraid of a lot of things with the climate and this other stuff. But what you fail to understand is that us older folks have been through this since we were born. You don't know how many times they have threatened us with World War III. The media has played that up and overhyped that and blown that out of proportion. We're on the brink of World War III. That's old school. We were on the brink of World War III the day I was born. We've been on the brink of World War III since the end of World War II. The media plays it up. They're vying for your attention. And my advice to younger people is think about the agenda of the person telling you this. Is that how they make their money? By getting your attention, by getting your clicks, by getting your screen time? So they might have a reason for telling you something big and sensational to get your attention. Mainly money. Okay? That's how they make their living. So you have to think a little deeper into things like this. If you think about it, go even another step deeper. No one is going to start World War III. Okay? Not with nuclear stuff. Nobody wants. Putin does not want World War III. Whoever prime minister or president, whatever, nobody wants World War III. It's the end of the world. It's nukes. Nobody's going to hit that button. That's why it's set up that way, so the big superpowers all have it. They were stockpiling it against each other. So if you push the button, you're signing your own death warrant. Everything's done when you hit that button. The nukes start flying, everything's over. Nobody's going to do that. I mean, come on, think about it. Nobody wants to see their entire country, their children, their grandchildren just obliterated because they're mad. It's not going to happen. Now, another war fought on ground with, just regular bombs and stuff, that's been happening since we were kids too. That's been happening constantly. You can go back in history and just name all the wars. It's just old, tiring crap. We've been hearing about wars and unrest in whatever country and all this. We've been hearing about this stuff for years. And it's almost a meme thing to say that Gen X doesn't care, and it's not that we're trying to be cool and not, and apathetic and not give a shit. It's that we've heard it all before many, many times. It's called crying wolf, the boy who cried wolf. After a while, people quit listening to him because the wolf never came. That is Gen X and the media and the government and all this stuff. They have been crying wolf to us our entire lives. And we don't listen to them anymore. And I am guilty of making stuff that I think will get clicks. I'll admit that. And I'll talk crap about millennials or Gen Z or boomers. But in almost all of my videos, I have admitted that I really like a lot of millennials. Those are my favorite people to work with. I've seen hard-working Gen Zers out there working beside me in the sun for a different company, but I've seen them busting their asses all day, never looking at their phones, getting it done all day. And I was surprised because of your reputation, Gen Z's reputation. But having said that, Gen X had the reputation for being slackers and lazy back when we were kids. We understand what it's like, and that's the thing. Our the older generations to us, the boomers and the silent generation, they had forgotten what it was like to be children, what it was like to be kids. Gen X hasn't. And I don't mean that they completely forgot about taking a dime to the store and buying a bag full of candy and then having enough left over to go see a movie. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about what it felt like to be a kid, emotionally and, mentally. That childhood state, they just completely forgot about that, and they expected us to grow up and act, like adults by the time we were 10. Now you younger generations haven't had to experience that. You don't know what that's like. You don't know what it's like to have parents that have just completely forgotten what it's like to be kids. Gen X has not forgotten that. We know what it's like to be kids. We understand. We remember. And that's why we still act young compared to older generations, because then when they were our age, they didn't act the way we do. They just didn't. They didn't act the way we ever, because they had forgotten what it was like to be kids. Gen X hasn't. Now, some of the stuff I say on here is my opinion. All right? Some of the stuff I say on here is facts that I've done some research on. And some of the stuff I say on here is complete just goofy BS just to make people laugh. All right? But I am talking to my fellow Gen Xers. And a lot of times I'll say that goofy stuff to make people laugh. I'll say it with a completely straight face, or try to at least, and try to sound serious, because that adds punch to the comedy for Gen Xers. So you can't take everything I say on here and think that I'm being, hateful or biased or whatever, and because it's just funny. It's humor. Y'all need to just learn how to get over that. People are going to make fun of you. You can't stop them. People make fun of Gen X all the time. I don't care. If it's funny, it's funny. I'll laugh my ass off. If somebody says a really good, funny joke about Gen X, I'll laugh. That shit's funny. I don't care. So you can, but I wouldn't advise you to keep taking everything you hear and taking it as an insult. Every generation has its stereotypes, and they're funny. I know not every Gen Z or ate Tide Pods. Probably 0.001% of you ate Tide Pods. Just a small fraction of you. But all of you will be made fun for that for the rest of your lives, probably. I'll be an 80-year-old man, and I'll be making fun of a 50-year-old dude because he ate Tide Pods. And he probably won't even remember the incident, you know what I mean? He never ate a Tide Pod, never knew anybody who ate a Tide Pod, but I'll be making fun of him for eating Tide Pods when I'm 80. So it's all just good fun, not always clean, not always obvious to people who didn't grow up with us. You need to take that stuff with a grain of salt for your own happiness. You can't get all upset by everything somebody says on the internet. I mean, seriously. I'm up here a lot of times acting like a goofball on purpose just to try to make people laugh or whatever. So to take something I say and to let it wound you and upset you, come on. Think about it. Think about it. Calm down and just think about it for a second. There's no reason to get upset over anything I say. It's fun, it's entertaining, sometimes informative, hopefully, but not upsetting. If I say something that you might find upsetting, then about the world at large, then you need to do some research and find out yourself and then decide whether you're going to get upset. Don't just take my word for it. I'm just putting information out there for y'all to do research on and become informed. Don't just take my word for it or anybody's word for it. But we Gen Xers are a different breed, and we've come through this and evolved to this over the last 50 years, give or take, for most of us. And it's the stuff we find funny, we're not going to be able to change that. You can't change it. You can't. So getting upset over what we find funny is you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your time worrying about World War III. It's not going to happen. It never has. I can't say it never will, but they're going to have to, maybe one day when they find a better weapon besides nuclear, then maybe it'll happen, but I doubt it. Where they can be more strategic and surgical with their war. This is not our war. It's not going to be our war. It's going to be their war. So Gen X just doesn't worry about that stuff. We don't care about the lies, the propaganda, the media blowing stuff out of proportion because they've been doing it for our entire lives. And Gen X is going to make fun of you. If you don't like it, then just don't get on Gen X channels because it's all just fun and we make fun of ourselves. Read through our comments, all the goofy stuff we say about ourselves and each other, and it's good, clean fun. We make fun of everyone. So my advice is to relax, do a little more research, try not to get too wound up over things you see or hear on the internet. And if something does strike a chord with you, do a little research. Look into it, especially into history. How many times has this been said in the past? Was there a World War III scare in the 80s? Was there a World War III scare in the 70s? What about the 50s? You know what I mean? It's been that way throughout time. We've heard it all. And I'll leave you there with that. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking on the thanks button down there below the video. I appreciate it. Or you can do so by buying me a cup of coffee, and I'll put that link down in the description. If you're interested in Gen X gear, I'll put that link down in the description as well. Got some cool stuff over there, cups, t-shirts, stuff like that, stickers. If you don't want to or cannot support the channel in any of those ways, you can do so by sharing these videos on your social media, and that helps out a lot, so thank you very much. And if you have an idea for a future episode of Gen X Thinks, please put it down in the comments. I appreciate that. That's one of my favorite things to do on this channel. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, but this time, millennials and Gen Zers too. And I'll see you on the next one.